jobs open here at National Geographic. So are you the type of guy living in an apartment, barely being able to pay rent, very built? Well, I think you should get a job as an explorer. Yep, you. I think you're fit for it. And I'll tell you how to be the best explorer. If you want to be an explorer, we can't just hand you the job like, here you go. Nah. That's not a thing. You will need determination. It's illegal to give up. Just imagine you're climbing up Mount Everest and you just randomly give up because it's too hard. Like, you're this close. I'll give you an example. You see this guy? Well, that's Saru Bradley. Saru, he was born in India and got lost while trying to search for his brother who went out for his night job. Since they were poor, they had to do night jobs. Saru goes to someone to help him. And think of this, he's only 5 years old. And he ends up getting adopted by some Australian family. Saru grows up in Australia, forgetting almost everything about his past. But during college, he starts remembering everything about his past. He searches for his family on Google Earth, which ends up taking 4 years. And in the end, he does find them. But the reason I told you about Saru Bradley is because he was very determined. He literally did not give up for 4 straight years. 4 years, can you imagine that? He literally was on his laptop for many hours the entire week. And he grew away from his Australian family because of that. But he still fought on to find his home. And that is why you need determination. Do you think I'm done? No. It doesn't just end there. Let's talk about a woman you've probably heard before. I'll put her face on the screen. That's right, Marie Curie. She was born in France. And since she was a woman and she was born in France, she wasn't allowed to go to college because the French don't like that. Marie's family had very, very little money. And when I mean very, I mean very. But she still moved to Poland to get her and her sister's degree. They shared a very small apartment with no heater and a little food and water. She had to get a job to pay for her sister's college. She was a tutor. And her sister also had to get a job to pay for Marie's college. And since she had no money, she couldn't get very healthy food. And that is very bad for her. Marie was one of the top students in her class, but her health suffered as a result of her destitute lifestyle. Marie's a prime example of determination because even though she was struggling, she kept moving on. Do you actually think it ends there? You can't just have determination. Like, you will also need curiosity. Anybody can be determined, but without curiosity, what's the point? You might just go to outer space, be like, wait, why am I out here? You go to outer space to find out what's out there. You go in the ocean to find out, what's lurking in the ocean. If you don't care about those things, then what is the point of being an explorer? You're curious about the science world. If you don't have curiosity, get out. Get out. You better not be signing up to be an explorer if you don't have curiosity. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you, actually. So, be prepared. Let's talk about Ada Lovelace. She is a prime example of an explorer with curiosity. Ada is a woman from the 1800s, born to a mother who hated poetry because of her poetic and pathetic father. Because Ada's father left, she was forced to only a life in STEM. Ada's mother was kind of very strict, but once she became 18, she met a man named Charles Babbage, and that changed her life forever. Charles Babbage, he was an inventor, and he created the thinking machine. She was fascinated with the machinery inside, actually. She was so curious, she was studying it. And while studying it, she found out it might be able to do a lot more than they think. Then she leaped ahead of Babbage. She saw the machine might be able to do a lot more than crunch numbers. It can do whatever we want it to do. She realized how to program a computer while studying it. And this was in the 1800s. There wasn't even a computer back then. All they had was a thinking machine. The reason I told you about her, because if she wasn't curious about Babbage's machine, then we would have never known how to program a computer. And programming a computer is something we need to know. Now do you believe that you need to believe me that you need to be curious to be an explorer? Oh, if you don't, I have even more proof, so yeah. Why should we be curious? Let's go back to Marie Curie. She was so curious about science. She used all her money to go to college. She was so curious about the world of science. She was literally every single penny she had. Like, she is destined. And she ended up one of the most known women in the world, winning 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. If she was never curious about the world of science, we would never have the knowledge we have now. And that's pretty crazy, in my opinion. She was so curious, she dedicated her life to the world of science. And that's enough proof, I think. If you are not curious, get out of my face. If you want my job, then you better have curiosity and determination. Because if you don't, I'm going to kick you out of my room for wasting my time. You're going to have to give me $5. So, yeah. If interested, call 469-790-9451. Batteries not included. Also,